She was only assigned to the gate until a SEAL commander saluted her first. The morning sun had barely risen over the sprawling perimeter of Naval Base Coronado when Petty Officer Second Class Emily Warren adjusted her cap and took her post at the north gate. Her uniform was crisp, her stance perfect, and her mind steady, or so she kept telling herself. Gate duty wasn't glamorous, it wasn't thrilling, but it was her duty, and Emily believed that even the smallest assignment in uniform deserved full respect. The rhythm of her mornings rarely changed. Cars rolled in, badges flashed, names verified. Marines, sailors, and civilian contractors all passing through her lane without a second glance. That morning, though, something felt different. A light fog hung over the road, the Pacific breeze carrying a sharp chill. As she raised the barrier for a convoy of black SUV, her radio crackled with a message from command. Gate 1, prepare for VIP arrival. Clearance Echo 9er. Her training kicked in. Roger that. Gate 1 ready. She adjusted her posture. VIP arrivals could mean anything: a senator, a visiting admiral, or sometimes a SEAL commander returning from deployment. She brushed invisible dust off her uniform, smoothed her bun, and took a breath. Then the first SUV stopped. The window rolled down, and she found herself staring into the eyes of a man whose face she recognized from base briefings and Navy articles. Commander Nathan Briggs, a SEAL Team 7 leader with a reputation that walked ahead of him. Decorated, ruthless in combat, and respected by every operator who'd ever served under him, he offered his ID card casually, not even glancing up at her. "Morning, Petty Officer," he said, voice calm but distant. "Morning, sir. Identification, please." He smirked slightly, not mocking, but assessing. "You're thorough. That's good. Most guards just wave me through." Emily felt her face warm. "Standard procedure, sir. Can't let anyone through without verification." He studied her for a long second, then nodded. "Keep that mindset, Warren. Procedure saves lives." She scanned his ID, cleared the system, and stepped back to raise the barrier. He saluted her briefly before driving through. Nothing unusual, just courtesy. But something in his tone lingered in her mind. Procedure saves lives. The rest of her shift passed in the quiet monotony of routine until, just after 1,600 hours, she was called to the security office. Chief Master at-Arms Davis was there, a grizzled veteran with gray stubble and a coffee mug that never seemed to leave his hand. "Warren," he said, motioning her in, "you pulled gate duty for Commander Briggs this morning, right?" "Yes, Chief." "He noticed you, said you were squared away, sharp. That's not something he says often." She blinked. "Thank you, Chief." "Don't thank me yet," Davis grunted. "He requested you for temporary assignment to his team. Base security detail for an upcoming exercise. You'll report to SEAL compound at 0600 tomorrow." Her heart skipped. "Sir, a SEAL detail. Me?" "Yeah, you. Don't mess it up." That night she barely slept. By dawn, Emily was standing outside the SEAL compound, the faint hum of engines and the distant sound of surf filling the air. She felt out of place among the operators in their tactical gear, broad-shouldered, sunburned men who looked like they'd been carved from steel. Briggs appeared with a clipboard. "Petty Officer Warren, sir. You'll be part of the base perimeter security for our live simulation. Keep communications clear. If something looks wrong, call it in. Don't play hero. Understood?" "Yes, sir." Hours into the drill, as the team simulated an infiltration of the compound, everything ran smoothly. The operators moved like shadows, silent, coordinated. Emily monitored the cameras from the control booth, checking access points. Then something caught her eye. A maintenance truck, unregistered, moving toward the east gate. No authorization pinged in the system. She radioed to the gate, no response. "Command, this is security too," she said, voice steady. "I've got an unverified vehicle approaching East Gate, attempting contact. Static." She checked the feed again. The truck was closer now, engine idling. Then she saw it, a small flicker of metal near the driver's seat. A weapon. Her stomach clenched. Command, possible armed threat East Gate. Lockdown recommended. The radio burst to life with Commander Briggs' voice. "Copy that. I'm en route." Emily sprinted from the control booth, her boots hammering against the pavement. She reached the access road, crouched behind a barricade, and drew her sidearm. The truck door swung open, and two masked men stepped out, rifles raised. She fired first. Two sharp cracks split the air. One intruder fell, the other fired back, bullets kicking up dust near her cover. She ducked, heart racing, adrenaline flooding her veins. East Gate under fire. She shouted into the radio. Moments later, Briggs and two SEALs stormed in, moving with surgical precision. Within seconds, the second assailant was down, and silence returned, broken only by the distant wail of sirens. When it was over, Briggs turned to her. "You called it before anyone else saw it. You just prevented an infiltration that could have turned this base into a war zone." Emily swallowed hard. "Just doing my job, sir." He gave her a long look. Then, without a word, he raised his hand and saluted her first. For a second, she didn't move. SEAL commanders didn't salute enlisted personnel first. It wasn't protocol, but this wasn't about rank. It was about respect. "Outstanding work, Petty Officer Warren." He said quietly, "You saved lives today." News spread fast. Within hours, the story reached base command. The intruders were identified as mercenaries hired to steal classified prototype data from the SEAL compound. Their plan had been precise except for one unexpected obstacle: a gate guard who refused to overlook a suspicious truck. The following week, Emily received a commendation for valor. At the ceremony, Briggs stood beside her, presenting the medal. Cameras flashed, sailors applauded, and for the first time in her career, she felt seen not just as the girl on gate duty, but as a sailor who had made a difference. Afterward, as the crowd dispersed, Briggs approached her quietly. "Most people think heroism happens in battlefields," he said. "They forget it starts in moments like yours when no one's watching." She smiled faintly. "I just followed procedure." He chuckled. "Exactly. That's why you're the kind of sailor I'd trust to watch my six." Over the next few weeks, Emily was temporarily attached to the SEAL security detail, learning from their operations, watching their discipline, and discovering that courage didn't always come with a rifle or a mission. Sometimes it came with the quiet conviction to do your duty right every single day, but the peace didn't last. 3 months later, while on night shift, a series of security alerts triggered across the base. Multiple gates reported simultaneous electronic interference. The cameras flickered, systems rebooting themselves. Emily was in the security command post again when she noticed the pattern, all interference leading toward one specific hangar, the same one housing SEAL Team 7's equipment. "Base command, this is Warren. I'm detecting coordinated jamming toward Hangar 4. Requesting investigation. Copy that. Sending units." But something didn't add up. The jamming wasn't external, it was internal. Someone was inside the base. She accessed the backup feed from an auxiliary camera, grainy, blackened, white. A shadow moved through the hangar, carrying what looked like a data module. She didn't hesitate. Grabbing her sidearm, she raced toward Hangar 4. Inside, the air was thick with the hum of machinery and the faint smell of oil. Her flashlight beam cut across the rows of gear and weapons racks. "Security," she shouted. "Drop your weapon." The intruder spun. It was a man in maintenance overalls, but his eyes gave him away. Trained, calm, not a mechanic. He lunged. They collided hard against a crate, the flashlight clattering away. He swung a wrench, grazing her arm. Pain shot through her shoulder, but she didn't back down. She drove her elbow into his ribs, kicked him off balance, and leveled her pistol. "Don't move." For a moment, neither did. Then a voice boomed from behind her. "Stand down." Briggs, flanked by 2 SEALs, stormed in. Within seconds, the intruder was restrained. Briggs looked at Emily, breathing hard, blood on her sleeve, but eyes steady. "You again," he said, half a smile crossing his face. "Guess you really like saving this base. Guess someone has to watch the gates inside, too," she said. The man was later identified as a contractor turned informant, selling intel to a foreign power. If Emily hadn't caught the signal pattern, critical operational data would have been stolen, the kind that could compromise entire missions. After the investigation, Briggs found her outside the admin building, arm in a sling. "Command's putting you up for advancement," he said, "but I wanted to say something first." She turned. "When I first saw you at that gate," he said, "I saw a sailor who cared about rules. Now I see one who understands why they matter." Emily looked toward the base's perimeter, the place where her story began. "I guess even gate guards can make a difference." Briggs nodded. "That's the point. Every role matters when you wear this uniform. The only question is whether you take it seriously enough to prove it." He extended his hand. She took it. And once again, before walking away, Commander Nathan Briggs saluted her first. Emily stood there a long time after he left, the hum of the base in her ears, the American flag rippling above. She thought about how close she'd come to being just another unnoticed face on the watch list, and how one choice to follow her instincts, to do her duty, had changed everything. Weeks later, she was promoted to Petty Officer First Class. Her new assignment took her beyond the gate, assisting in operational logistics for base security, but she never forgot where she started at that lonely checkpoint, watching cars roll by, believing her job didn't matter. Now she knew better, because sometimes the quietest posts guard the most important thresholds, not just to bases or missions, but to honor itself. And sometimes when you stand your ground and do the right thing, even a SEAL commander salutes you first. True heroism isn't found only on the battlefield. It's in the steadfast courage to do your duty, even when no one's watching. Every act of vigilance, no matter how small, upholds the values that keep others safe.